A record-breaking deal with Nike. College star Caitlin Clark. She signed the richest sponsorship contract in women's basketball history with, the brand. She's going to get a branded shoe. Also here to discuss is sports agent and Achilles PR founder Doug Eldridge. That contract was for $28 million, where you had other contracts. LeBron James was for $1 billion. Steph Curry, $215 million with Under Armour. Is that fair?
Well, I can make an argument on both sides, right? Because two things can be simultaneously true. On one hand, 8 and 28 is a historic deal, the largest in women's sports history. On the other hand, she's underpaid based on her performance, her personality, and her potential. And I say that because we're seeing an unprecedented moment in the history of women's sports based purely off of eyeballs, interest, and investment. And I think as a result, Caitlin Clark is going to have her Game of Thrones Daenerys Targaryen moment, where she famously said, "I came to shatter the wheel." Social psychologists went nuts with that, saying it was indicative of female empowerment and equality. In the context of Caitlin, I think that's going to be the case with women's sports. Just like Tiger Woods did for golf and Lance Armstrong did for cycling, Caitlin Clark will shatter the wheel with women's sports.
Yeah, I mean, her starting salary is $75,000 a year.
Right.
And the starting salary for LeBron James coming out was $4.7 million a year. We have a media manager here whose mom's trying to get him tickets to the first game, to see her come and play a WNBA game. $25 is the cheap seats here normally. It's $300 for her.
Well, it's completely changing the marketplace, right? Nearly 19 million people watched the women's NCAA finals, which is the most in history, but more significantly, more than the men this year. Similarly, nearly 2.5 million people watched the WNBA draft, which shattered the 25-year record set from 1999. Caitlin Clark is riding the high tide, and she's going to ride that all the way to the bank.
And quickly, we have the NFL draft coming up.
Yes.
Quarterbacks are going to go big. Bill Belichick has a book out saying only 50% would actually do well.
Yep.
In 15 seconds, is it worth drafting a quarterback early?
It is if you have the infrastructure in place. If you got a top pick, that means you don't have a great team, you don't have a great infrastructure. The last thing you want to do is make a huge investment if you don't have the big bodies, the Maytags up front to protect him. That's going to be key, just as the offensive scheme. Huge investment changes the future of a franchise.
Like my Hogs. The offensive line matters.
Jacoby, baby, the Hogs back in the day.
Find out when the Commanders are going to get a good quarterback and a good team around them. I can't wait for that. Anyway, that does it for us on Cavuto Coast to Coast.